I designed this picture, this collage, to highlight the consumerism that is running amok in our society. The shipping containers that you can see reminded me of my own experiences moving overseas when all of our stuff arrived in the shipping container 6 months after we had left, and a lot of the stuff that we had we just didn't we just had done without for so long. So it really brings us back to the fact that if it wasn't created in 7 days by God, that we don't really need it, because God provides everything, all of our basic needs in our environment, and the stuff that we put into shipping containers tends to be the same stuff that goes into the landfills. And the bottom, of course, is man, human, as he is evolving through the ages, but we're probably de-evolving now because of how badly we are treating the environment. This piece of artwork was drawn I was using a mirror, and I was using a Sharpie to draw an image of my face without looking at the paper or the Sharpie that I was drawing it on. And this is the face that I drew, which I think is pretty funny. My head is apparently floating somewhere above my face. Following the activity of drawing the face, I placed tissue paper, leaking tissue paper, crisscrossing over the image of my face and spraying it, so I ended up with quite a colorful effect. And that is how I created this, and I entitled it My Distorted Mask, because we all do wear masks depending on what we're doing during the day and who we're with. So it's just a reminder for me to be myself. This technique is called the best part of me, and in this case I took a photo of my hands that are where the fingers are intertwined, and I've entitled it Learners Intertwined, because I learn as much from my students or more than they learn from me, and so the learning process, we have to do it together, and we have to work with one another in order to go forward. So I drew my hands. They were pretty non-threatening, and I love my rings. It reminds me of my family, and that is why I entitled this one Learners Intertwined. This piece of artwork was created by dribbling some black paint onto a piece of paper on one side of the paper, and then folding the paper over in half. So I ended up with a symmetrical blob in the middle of my page, but the first thing I thought of was my hips, like as if the picture was a picture of my hip bones, or an x-ray of my hip bones, because, or my pelvic bones, because following the delivery of my 3 children, the bones, the pelvic area in my body was quite different after that. So it kind of reminded me of how miraculous the body is, and how amazing women's bodies are, that they can bear humans and they can grow humans right inside of themselves. And part of that process is, of course, the delivery of those children, and that is why I entitled this one Did Delivery, because that is what I did.